on the phone.
Why was your system of defence?
That is why they're swearing at you.
Sophisticated wall in the world. Why do you think the defence that your wall?
Come on, camera, Mr. Marxist. Come on, Mike. I'm on yours. I'm on yours. You come on mine.
They're swearing at you because you're coming out with rubbish.
Why do you think your wall was so weak? Why was your defence so incompetent?
So do you want the honest answer?
7 hours.
Do you want the honest answer?
Unhindered.
Do you want the honest answer?
How come?
So I'm going to give you the answer.
They wanted it. They wanted it.
Oh yeah, we wanted our babies.
Why are you allowing us?
Maybe not
Don't
you,
get
but some
distracted.
people,
Stick to the question.
Sorry, who wanted the Jews?
I didn't say anything about the Jews.
Oh, the Israelis. The Israelis wanted it. You said some people.
I said some people.
Who
might want it.
Who?
Some Secret Services people, some Mossad people. Who knows?
Why don't they have
Some people might
some.
do something like that.
Repeat the question.
Alternatively, your army is so incompetent that all of the show over the years is a facade.
Do you want to know what happened?
So one or the other.
So that's the only two possible things it could be, because Mr. Marxist says.
You got a better answer.
I have. I've got the actual answer.
Go on.
So, since 2022, October, Hamas have been planning this operation. And what Hamas did, they lulled the Israelis into a false sense of security. When Islamic Jihad were firing rockets on Israel, and I was very confused for a year, I thought Hamas were losing control of the Palestinians, because from Gaza, every single time you saw rockets landing on Israel, it was Islamic Jihad or other militant groups firing them from Gaza and not Hamas.
So
and what
Hamas
is, listen, yes, in this instance they did. So what Hamas gave the impression was they were focused on building up the government and the economy, focused on getting work permits, work permits.
That's television talk. That's like Newsnight, BBC. Why did the Israelis not have a wall that was secure, given the fact it's the most strongly guarded wall in the world? That's got nothing to do with Hamas. That's to do with you.
Instead of interjecting, are you interested in my answer or not? I just want to interject. I'm trying to.
Would you get to the point?
So then,
answer the man's question.
can you stop shouting at me, you grumpy old man?
Well, you're not shouting. What gives you the right of the shouting? A stupid young man.
Why were they so incompetent? Why were they so incompetent? Why was the wall?
I understood your question.
I understand it.
So now allow me to answer. What Hamas have, they have a cyber unit of hackers, and the hackers.
In comparison with Israel?
No, not in comparison. But Israel wasn't expecting it. Do you understand what insurgency is? Do you understand what a war of insurgency is?
Israel knows that very well. Don't have to ask me.
So you think? Heiko, your name Heiko, is that something?
Yeah.
Heiko, you're saying you believe that Israel wanted Hamas?
You one of two.
No,
questions.
you actually said it.
One is.
You said somebody did.
I said somebody might have. I said might
What's
have.
the motive?
It's just a theoretical.
Why would they want this?
Given the fact that
Heiko, why would somebody want this to happen? Why would a Jew? Why would a Jew want Hamas to be in? Why would a Jew?
Why would that somebody want?
I'm saying.
I said, why is it the strongest wall in the world?
How's it the strongest wall in the world?
And what you're saying is that Hamas were very clever.
Yes, they were.
And outstripped the strongest wall of the strongest.
Do you know what the day was?
In the world.
Heiko, do you know what the day?
That's one possibility.
Heiko,
but
Heiko, listen, my brother.
Just one second.
I understand your question. Yes, agreed.
The Israeli state has been pretending all along that it's got some enormously powerful thing, and it doesn't have any such thing. Is that what you're saying?
So again,
the IDF are totally incompetent.
Do you know what a straw man is?
Totally incompetent.
Heiko, do you want my answer? Or do you want to just put words in my mouth? Do you want my answer, or do you want to do you want to straw man me and put words in my mouth?
Go.
Okay. So, Heiko, please allow me to respond. I'll stay calm. You stay calm, but just let me speak, and then you can come with all your tinfoil stuff. Okay.
Tinfoil.
So Hamas have a cyber unit, and what they did, they took out the Israeli surveillance infrastructure. The day was Simchat Torah.
What time was
that? I couldn't tell you the exact time, I'm sorry. It was when they first went in. I don't know the time.
They didn't notice for 7 hours.
So again, allow me to respond. So do you know what Simchat Torah or Shemini Atzeret is?
No.
You wouldn't, because you're not Jewish.
No.
It's a Jewish festival.
I did hear that.
So it was a Jewish festival, so the overwhelming majority of the soldiers had gone home. It's like Christmas. You go home to spend it with your family. Right. And so it was understaffed.
Sneaky.
It was understaffed. There was a cyber attack which took out the surveillance. Then they came with drones, which Israel's never seen before. Hamas now had drones, which they then dropped the explosives on surveillance towers. Heiko, you said you're not going to interrupt. So then what happened? They then came and the elite unit of Hamas with the paragliders came over the top, under the cover of thousands of rockets that had been fired to the north. So Israel was distracted momentarily. They then took down the fence with a bulldozer after they exploded a hole. They then took it down with a bulldozer, and thousands of Hamas militants and civilians, bizarrely, came over into Israel and started murdering, raping, and killing. The first place they went was the base, and I can show you the video of them going into the base, which Hamas released on their own Telegram. You can go on Telegram and look at it yourself if you can type Arabic. And they would go from 1,500 were killed. 1,500 were killed. 1,500 were killed. Thousands went over.
No, that's not what they said.
They went back.
So you're getting distracted. Carry on.
It's hard for him to stick to his answer when he keeps getting interrupted.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And so
he's not that badly interrupted. Go on, carry on.
And so I'm glad it's funny for you, by the way, Heiko.
I'm just finding it funny that there isn't an explanation.
Heiko, you're
giving an answer
for the last half an hour.
which is not really an explanation.
I'm giving you an explanation.
Right. The alternative then is, according to what
Is it possible what he said?
If what he has said,
just say what.
One second. If what he has said is true,
Heiko, you said you'd allow me to respond. You said you'd allow me to respond. So thousands of well-trained Hamas soldiers came into Israel, and what they did, it was unlike any other situation there's been before, because they took, and they've been planning this since October 22, they took hundreds of hostages. They massacred, but they inflicted horrendous crimes, but they also took hostages. And then inside buildings in Israel, under the cover of hostages, they started attacking the IDF as they came in. I can give you testimony, if you're genuinely interested, I can give you the testimony of people who were there.
You're telling me what happened, not why it happened.
So the reason it happened is because Hamas, and I can't tell you Hamas's intention, but Hamas wanted to initiate this.
Is it true that for a whole period of time Israel was supporting Hamas?
No.
Against the Palestinian Authority?
So
is that true?
So we just had this conversation before. Heiko, we just had this conversation before.
Okay.
So are you suggesting?
Just quickly answer.
No. I want to ask you a very specific question in relation to how are you connecting that to what's just happened? Are you saying that Hamas are under Israel's control?
No, I didn't say that.
No, that's what I'm trying to understand why you said it.
I didn't say that.
So what are you saying? Say what you're saying. Instead of dancing with me, say what you want to say.
Is it true? That's what I asked. It wasn't a very complicated question.
Okay, why did you ask it? What's the connection? What's the relation to today?
Because it indicates a dodgy behaviour on the part of certain elements within the Israeli state, which then could, I'm not saying did, but could have a connection to the opening of the border, given the fact that the border was supposed to be the strongest border in the world. I mean, I lived in East Germany when the Berlin Wall was there, and it wasn't easy to cross, but I mean, I used to go up and look on the platforms and see how people might cross or not cross. Everyone used to think that who lived there. Could you cross? What is it possible? How would you do it? What would you do? And what you are saying is I mean, I always thought the Israeli state was a particularly powerful security system. I always thought they were particularly good at that. Whereas what you're saying, and I do understand it, what you're saying is the Israeli state is utterly and completely incompetent and betrays its own people.
Jews?
In that respect, and I did see that was the dominant view in Israel. I think most people blame Netanyahu.
Jews, pay attention to what the far left in the UK is saying. Pay attention. These are the bedfellows of Hamas.
I just asked you a question about Hamas, and you come out with a silly statement like that.
Because
when I asked
you're literally saying,
did Israel support Hamas? You refused to make a statement because you knew they did.
He's literally saying that some Israeli Jews, not Israeli Arabs, I'm sure, Israeli Jews.
About Jews. I didn't mention Jews.
I know you didn't. Israelis, you were very careful not to say that, Heiko. You always are. Israelis.
We don't talk very often. So.
Well, every time we spoke, it seems to be about anti-Semitism, and you're with some far left cranky. It's on camera. You're on my channel, mate. You're on my channel with your far left nonsense.
Show me what you just said. But anyway, show me what you just claimed. But anyway, go on.
With Marx, when you defended Marx on the question of Jews.
Oh, let's just avoid that for the minute.
Exactly.
It's not relevant to this discussion.
Can I speak to your speaker?
Yeah.
The idea of going fight man to man with Hamas.
We're going to.
One more question.
We're going to.
given the fact that you are saying, you are telling me that Hamas are so clever, the Israeli state
I've got to go to a vigil.
You're saying Hamas are so clever.
My audience now knows.
The Israeli state are completely incompetent, and yet the Israeli
that's
state
exactly what I
is going to
said.
successfully fight a war to eliminate Hamas.
That's exactly what I said.
That's what you're saying.
That's exactly what I said.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what you've just said. I said.
And you said it was possible. You said it was possible.
I did say it was possible.
So what makes you say
I'm not
that?
taking one side or another. I'm saying.
Oh, clearly you're not taking a side, Heiko. Clearly.
On this question, whether or
Your side is very
not
clear.
the Israelis.
Your side is very clear.
What side is that?
We know you. Condemn Hamas.
I condemn Hamas. I've got no truck with Hamas.
Okay.
What I said was, rather than you accusing me of some Hamas,
No.
I have zero connection.
Heiko.
I have never, ever spoken anything about Hamas. However, a couple of minutes ago, when I asked you whether or not Israel had supported Hamas, you suddenly went silent.
Heiko, look at you. You came over. You saw a Jew. Look how you reacted when you saw me.
I saw you.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing to do with the Jew. What's that got to do with it?
You came over, and your line of questioning is Israel did
Israel
this. Did Israel?
Hamas?
No, your line.
Say that.
You literally said
nothing of the sort. I said there were two
Option.
possibilities that from my guessing.
And you eliminated one from your
speech.
speech.
The Israeli state were
Does he
incompetent.
condemn Hamas?
Were incompetent.
Hey, do you condemn Hamas? What Hamas did?
I condemn Hamas.
No.
Of course I do.
And the second question.
Second
question. Do you believe that Hamas carried out the attack?
Yes, probably, yes.
Do you believe it under the instruction of Israel?
I didn't say I believe that. I said I doubt the explanations being given by Israel. I doubt them. I don't think the Israelis are that incompetent. But you're saying they are.
On this instance,
You're
yes, they
saying
were.
but if the Israeli state on the 7th of October was so utterly incompetent, and for a year before that, when Hamas was planning this in secret and the Israeli state knew nothing about it,
Yeah.
Now you're telling me they're going to successfully pursue a war because they're so competent.
If you have an enemy who strikes you when you're unexpected, it does not mean you will not win the war. Hamas had the element of
but you're
surprise.
successfully going to do this. And you're going to
Israel was-
minimise casualties.
Yes.
And you're going to look after the people. This we're supposed to believe now.
Yes.
Well, I don't find that believable.
I know you don't,
I don't find it
Heiko,
believable.
because you're the anti-Semitic left, so you wouldn't.
Where's the anti-Semitism coming?
Because that's what you are. I believe you're an anti-Semite.
You believe.
From our conversations we've had. From the conversations we've had.
Your belief.
Look at you run over. I'm talking to people. You run over with your weird conspiracy theory that Israel.
Conspiracy theory?
Because it's inferring that someone in Israel wanted this to happen.
My friend.
I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend, Heiko.
The Egyptians contacted Netanyahu. They told him something's about to happen, and he ignored it. Right? That's on record. So it's not my conspiracy theory. The Egyptian security services said this what happened. They spoke to Netanyahu directly. Now you are saying that isn't what happened, and Netanyahu basically, and the Israeli leadership, and the Israeli security services, and the IDF are totally and utterly incompetent.
No, I didn't say that.
That's what you're saying.
You said that.
And if that's the case, then I don't see how you can expect them to conduct a war on your behalf.
Don't come and talk to me again, because you don't actually listen to what I say. Every
I
answer I said, and you've just thrown every single answer.
On this. You'll see. You had about the same time as I did.
No, it wasn't about talking.
I didn't excess time.
Well, let him answer.
What's your YouTube channel?
No, because I've got to go. I'm going to come back in an hour or so. There's a Jewish. It's not my problem.